And welcome to another episode of More Than Dice. I'm Gonzo.
I'm John.
I'm Cammy.
Christ. I should expect it at this point, but I'm just so gullible I don't. I give
Oh
up.
my god, what is wrong with my camera? I seem to be frozen.
That's great. I actually keep playing that up. That's awesome.
Also, I am wearing something totally different and drinking from a different teacup. How is that possible?
Science!
Science.
Oh.
So we are on episode 177. Today is
Yeah,
going
I
to be
didn't look at my calendar. Oops.
today's going to be somewhat of a hobby. And welcome back, Kathy, to the podcast since she's been gone away for 75 years, and we'll be doing stuff like that. Other than that. Let's go ahead and get all of our sponsors out of the way. We are a creature creator. You will see Kathy from time to time paint a creature caster model. She's going to be trying to finish up her Suzerain of Desire sometime soon. Don't know when.
Yep.
Just keep.
I will be done with these models shortly, and then we'll get back to the Suzerain.
Also, Tectonic Crust Studios. Don't forget, Dan does stream on Twitch now. You can find his channel. We'll have a link up there pretty soon. And then we want to thank Muse on Minis for having us and helping us host our channel and getting it out to the masses. Kathy, you're like really, really close in that screen. Let's see if I can get you.
My head is bigger than your head, and that's wrong. That's just completely wrong.
Let's see if I can fix that.
I have nothing to say for that. I'm just going to let that one go. How are you doing? How about the local sports teams? Unless you're England. Sorry, England. Not sorry.
But we also want to thank Lynn Stahl from Metalhead Minis. She does have a few of our items up that you can purchase. Some dice, some measuring widgets, and all that cool stuff that'll help you with your game. All that money goes back to the podcast to help us buy cooler stuff for the podcast. Other than that, I think did I get everybody? I think so. Yes, I did. Kathy, welcome back. We have missed you, even though we have done some pretty good jokes at your expense being gone. We definitely miss you being on here. John's been really mean to me the whole time, so it's nice.
I mean, that seems like a normal thing.
I mean, I need to remind everyone I'm an asshole. I mean, people apparently forget. Like, oh, shock, John's an asshole. Like, really? You didn't know?
John's being mean to me. I mean, John's not mean to me, usually.
No.
But yeah, it's expected.
I mean,
assholes
got an asshole.
Ah.
So,
who am I to stop that? Best John. Hashtag best John. Yes.
So, let's go ahead and go. Do we have any tributes that we need to go? John,
we do.
Yeah.
We have two, actually. We have Richard Donner passed this past week.
And he is, or for people that don't know.
I mean, he is a director. He is acclaimed director. His biggest would be, say, Superman, Goonies, and Lethal Weapon.
Yep.
Huh?
He's done a ton besides that. That's like really
Omen,
distilling it down.
The Omen. I mean, yeah. I couldn't believe all the movies he did that I was like, seen it. And that, is unusual for me.
Yeah. So he passed. And then also William Smith, who you guys won't mostly recognize. You'd recognize if you saw him. He's got one of those faces and physiques. He's been in a shit ton of movies and TV shows. I would say his most known role overall is actually in Any Which Way You Can, the Clint Eastwood and the orangutan movie, where he sort of plays the antagonist, but he's not a bad guy. Actually, that was the movie. Watching him in that, I'm like, why is this guy not getting more roles? Like, he could be a leading man. And that was sort of the thing, is he's got typecast as sort of a villain, because he has sort of that look a little bit, but he's got the charisma, he's good enough in other roles, and he could have been a leading man, but he never was, unfortunately. You'd also recognize him. He was Conan's father in Conan the Barbarian for 12 seconds.
12 12.7 seconds.
He's also in like all like the entire '80s fare of TV shows that I would watch. I mean,
I
he was
need
in
to
Dukes of
Google this.
Hazzard.
I need to. What's his name again?
William Smith. I could
Okay.
just send you the link to the IMDb bio I'm looking at right now.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
I got it. No, I got it.
Yeah,
I
so I
got it.
mean, literally like Hawaii Five-0. He's in Buck Rogers.
Oh my gosh! Yes,
Vance
this
Allen,
guy.
BJ the Bear, Dukes of Hazzard. I mean,
I
Airwolf
immediately
twice,
recognized this guy's
Fall
face.
Guy. He's one of those guys, and I mean, we always miss the big actors. We can't remember the character actors like him that
Wait, was
star in
he,
so many things.
was he Gibbs's friend in NCIS, like in the early NCIS years?
No, he wasn't.
That wasn't
Frank's.
that guy.
No, he. I see why you do it. That other guy had a much more gravelly voice and was shorter.
Okay.
But yes, I can see why you see that. But there you go. So William Smith, he will also be missed because he was totally one of those guys in movies where you see a movie, you're like, oh, that guy's a good bad guy.
Yep.
So those are the two I've got. More later, of course, in the media section.
Yeah, I didn't have anything off mine per se. Other than that, Kathy, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking gin and tonic.
Oh. John, what's your choice today?
I have Yukon Jack Fire with Dr. Pepper. More on that in a bit after we mention our drinks. I got some alcohol talk for a moment or two.
I'm going with some Macallan 18 Scotch tonight.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's going to be my ticket to ride tonight. Captain Mizzy's doing some Sprite and cherry rum.
Yes,
Okay.
she is. More on that in a bit too.
So, guys, cases are up of COVID. We want you to please take care of yourself. Wear your mask out there. Go get vaccinated. So on and so forth. Be careful where you're going.
Be safe. Whatever you're doing, be safe.
Be safe out there. We've had enough of this. I'm tired of it. We're all tired of it.
Yep.
Take care of yourself. Take care of your family. Take care of others. Be healthy. If you ever need anybody to talk to or hang out with, John's always up to do some MechWarrior online. And you can get that game going with him.
Skype call, Discord call, whatever you need, I'm there for you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Jokes aside, I do customer service all day long, and I have a great listening manner, and I'm happy to listen and just maybe provide some whatever you need. If you just want me to listen, you want me to give you some advice, if you just want me to share life stories that are similar to that, I'm always willing for anyone. I mean that.
Yeah, we gotta keep keeping an eye on each other. That's something we gotta keep doing. Wear your mask. Take your vitamins. Be healthy. Take care of each other, really. So, cheers.
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 Oh, this is going to fuck me up a little bit. So,
Yeah, go with your alcohol. I want to hear this.
So, of course, Captain Izzy recommended the rum to me, which is the what was it, the Calico Cherry Rum, or they did not have it at my local place. Calico Jack Cherry Rum, they did not have it at the place I went to, which is one of the better liquor stores in the area, and it also happens to be next to the game store. So instead, I bought Cruzan Black Cherry Rum, which is very good. I've already tried it. I just did not have any Cherry Cokes cold to make a rum and Cherry Coke. I also bought the 100 proof Yukon Jack Fire to try in place of Fireball. And then I bought something called Southern Tier Distilling Company Cinnamon Candy Apple. So it's supposed to be like a candy apple with cinnamon flavor in a alcohol. And I thought, well, that sounds like my jam. So I got home and immediately, I have to have a shot of each so I can see what they taste like. And let me tell you, when you haven't eaten in several hours, that's a slight mistake. And Mizzy had mentioned that Cruzan would not be smooth. I actually found it reasonably smooth. So if the Calico Jack is more smooth than that, I am very much looking forward to it. The Southern Tier, the Cinnamon Candy Apple was way more mellow than I thought it was going to be. I was expecting a little more punch you in the face, and it did not punch me in the face. It was tasty, but a little more mellow. And the 100 proof Yukon Jack Fire, do not fucking buy that stuff if you want to drink it straight. Just trust me on that. It was rough. It's fine mixed. Mixed is great. But solo, it was really kind of rough. So, there you go. There's my brief alcohol talk. Don't buy all new things at the same time and have to take a shot of each.
Just to make
You've
sure they're
eaten
good.
recently. Yeah. Well, I get it home. I always taste it just to see, because every time I go to the liquor store, I buy something new. I just happened to buy 3 new things this time. Probably because I was a little extra at the game store as well. I went in for a paint. I came out with 4 boxes of models and 4 paints. I did get the one paint I was looking for, though.
You made sure you got that one.
Good. It's good. Then it's successful.
Absolutely.
So before in the pre-ramble, we talked a little bit about I did an interview for Warfare Weekend with Jay Larson on his podcast, The Meta. People were asking and wanting to know some stuff about Warfare Weekend and how to get into it. And some of the questions were just like standard, what should I do for Warfare Weekend? How should I prepare for it? So on and so forth. And, it was a standard 1, 2, 3 type thing. Making
For
sure.
those of you who don't know, it's 1 shower, 2 meals, and 3 hours of sleep, at least.
At least.
Yeah. There were some questions about St. Louis pizza, which if you haven't had St. Louis pizza, it's a cracker bed of dough and then like sauce and cheese. It's like really horrible pizza.
It's like a Domino's
cracker
thin
dipped
crust.
in tomato paste
It's
and
not as good as
baked
Domino's
cheese.
thin crust. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's a super thin cracker crust and it's just bad.
Let's be honest. You're going to St. Louis, you're not going for pizza. You're going for fucking barbecue.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yes.
And then, I asked questions about what you can get around there and, how we're going to be running things.
Is it in the same place, Gonzo?
Same place.
John, if you and I manage to be at Warfare Weekend this year by some miracle,
It's impossible.
there will be barbecue consumed.
Oh, yeah. When we end up at the same convention, I don't care where the fuck it is, there will be barbecue consumed. I will find the barbecue place in that particular city, and I will eat barbecue. Worry not about that, Kathy.
I can just see
unfortunately,
that
this one is just not possible. I'm not going to have... it's too close. They can't get someone hired and trained in time, and I'm fucking 5th in line to get a person to start, so...
Well,
anyways, go ahead, Gonzo.
Make sure that they get someone for Adepticon, because that's going to be my next convention after Warfare Weekend, I think. And that's going to be mine. Going to, because I think that's going to be a lot of people's first big convention.
I honestly feel like that's going to be my first convention. I'm probably not going to be at Warfare Weekend, but you never know how things... It's months away still.
Yes, it is.
You never know.
Yeah,
But there's a lot of questions. They had questions about our COVID type stuff. Someone asked if I could bring Warfare Weekend to Europe, which I thought was an interesting question. I did get there was a lot of people that were like, so happy to be doing this, thanking us a lot for doing this and thanking a lot for our safety protocols, all that, which is interesting. Did get what is the worst stereotype for gamers and how would you fix it? And I was like, the worst
shower.
Yes, exactly.
Take a fucking shower.
That is the one. And I says, it's said when we say that, but I mean, we don't usually, like Warfare Weekend usually doesn't have that problem because, we're a little bit smaller.
Most people are usually pretty good.
Yes. But when you go to like Gen Con and you're walking around and you're like, oh, you're just like, what the hell happened? And it's like I said, it's a stereotype for a reason, but that, that was one. There were some questions like what was my favorite moment, what I wish could happen, what I wish this was this and this and that, and, just different things. Mm-hmm. It was a good one. Half of the interview is free. The other half is behind their Patreon. Which is okay, because, I mean, they've got to pay for the bills, too. But if you get, yeah, make sure you get deodorant. Yes, get good deodorant.
Yeah, like
Um,
it's cheap. There's a song. There's a song called "Read a Book." Look it up. It's called "Read a Book." It's hilarious, but part of it is, get deodorant.
I have a friend who brings extra deodorant to conventions
Yeah.
for that very reason.
Back when I used to play Madden, 1 year, I think it was actually 2 years in a row, but 1 year I remember in the bag with your pre-ordered copy of Madden, they put like Axe body spray in it.
That's
And I opened my
sad.
bag and I laughed all the way home.
You know what's better than that, though? Honestly, Febreze.
I mean, yeah, but people get upset when you spray them with Febreze.
Axe
I
is
know this as a
annoying.
fact.
Axe.
Yeah, but people get upset when you spray with Febreze. Trust me, I know. We've done that.
But yeah, I have friends who have that problem that Legionnaires mention, stress sweats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they bring extra deodorant. They take it in their bag with them as they walk the convention, applying it multiple times
And-
because
yeah,
they're
and
self-aware.
Yeah,
Just
and
be
we're
self-aware
not worried
it.
about those people. Those people we understand. It's the guy that hasn't bathed for 4 days because he's been sitting in his basement, type thing. That
And
just
also, if you meet someone who needs to do that, be nice when you tell them.
yes,
They may not realize. One of my first conventions I went to, someone came by and went, "Wow, dude, I think your jacket may have gotten a little bit of your sweat. You want to use the shower in my hotel room, just to freshen up." I'm like, "That would be great, dude." So I took a shower in the hotel room and retired my jacket for a bit, and it felt a lot better. But you don't realize. It starts to build up little by little. You don't recognize it.
Yeah.
So be nice when you're telling someone else. They may not know.
Yeah, it's true.
we did talk about.
We all like to be snarky and all, but it's not necessarily the right answer.
Yeah. Did talk about making sure that the convention is accessible to all types of people, and everybody's safe. Did talk about prize pool. I think this is the largest prize pool that we've ever had. Door prize and VIGs.
Yeah, I mean, door prize, one company fucking
Is there a
brought
booby
it.
prize?
There is not a booby prize. I should probably put a booby prize in there. But there is, for anybody to know, we got 900 pounds of miniatures from Conquest Games. Parabellum. They sent us 900 pounds, which is the equivalent of 600 boxes of miniatures to give away. Which is legit. That's something that's like Adepticon in my opinion.
Yeah, and if you guys are out there and you're looking for your ranks and flanks, as they call it, that style of game, you should be looking at them.
Yeah, they're pretty solid.
Their models are good. The rules, we actually interviewed them. Check our back catalog. We interviewed them. Their rules are simple and seem like they're going to work fine. And we actually have some in the local store. They've been carrying some of their models. I'm hoping maybe some people get some games. I've got some models here to test out eventually when I stop painting Marvel Crisis Protocol and BattleTech models.
We got a bunch. I mean, we've got so many door prizes. We're probably going to have to draw more than normal. I mean, one, as soon as you come in, you got a ticket, you got a badge, excuse me, you're going to get a Conquest troop box or whatever. So you're automatically going to be getting that. You are definitely going to be getting, we've got some people donating dice to the VIGs. We got, all the stuff that we've been posting. We've got so many stuff. Marshall, he gave us all his old.
That's Joe.
Is it Joe?
That's Joe. His last name is Marshall, just
Yes.
to get out there. He's not Marshall because we have another guy named Marshall who is laid claim.
Correct. So Joe
Sorry.
gave us a ton of War Machine and Hordes models that were supposed to be used for last year, but of course, didn't happen. So we got all that. We started getting really, really hot weather here. Big surprise in Arkansas. And I was like 2 days before we were supposed to get like 100-degree temperature, I was like, oh crap. Let's get everything out of the attic. Because I'd stored most of this stuff in the attic because we've had cold weather, hadn't gotten hot enough. And I'm like pulling all the stuff down out of the attic and putting it in, my big closet because, of course, that stuff's just going to melt during the summer.
On that subject, since we're summertime, let me give you all a nickel's worth of free advice. If you're in a house, because I know a lot of people don't have air conditioning or don't have good air conditioning, don't have central air, something like that, and your temperature varies wildly, get a cheap cooler bag, and put your paints in that. It will keep it less affected by humidity and everything. Your paints will dry out less often, and you won't have to worry about opening up a paint you need to finish your models and be like, well, fuck, this doesn't work.
Yeah.
Totally not voice of experience.
But no, I had to pull all that stuff down out of the attic, all of our price support out of the attic that we've had, and we still got more price support coming in. I've had 2 more companies say they're going to be sending us price support. A miniature company. What's up, Moe's?
Hey, Moe's Magic, how's it going?
Hey, Mo.
A terrain company that's sending us some door prizes. So we've got a lot more stuff coming in. So there's going to be a lot of stuff to give away, which is good because we want, it's been I believe I sent over 200 emails asking for sponsorships, and you're lucky if you get like 10 of those back.
Yeah, I mean, you send them out even if you know. Like, I would send one to GW even knowing you're not going to get one because you never know. Those guys...
You never know.
Yeah,
to be honest, the Warhammer community team is so next level from where GW used to be. It's crazy. There was a guy who literally looked at one of the new Stormcast models, like, oh, this model is cool because he's black and it's great. And he's like, he's got the same nose structure as my son and my wife. This is awesome. I'm going to buy one for my son. If you guys wanted to give me one, ha ha ha, it'd be great. And they contacted him and they gave him a model just so he could paint it and put it on Twitter because that's how they're being now. It's great.
Yeah. Community is very important to a lot of people nowadays.
So important. You can get by so many other things. You can fuck up release after release, but if your community support is good, people will still come back to your game.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
totally not calling anyone out.
Conquest, I messaged them because, we did, I know the owner and the designers and, hey, doing this convention to be nice. And then I got a message back saying, hey, sorry, we're a little late. We would like to do a sponsorship. Can we send you 600 boxes of models? I'm like, I went back and read that. I go, did you add an extra 0 behind that? And they're like, nah, we meant it. Roughly about 600 boxes of models. And I'm like, deal. Let me have you delivered to St. Louis, not to Arkansas.
Tell you what, Gonzo, remind me when it gets closer. I am, even though I'm going to be stuck here, I'm going to grab the preview models I have, and I'm going to assemble them and paint them in the, say, week or 2 leading up to Warfare Weekend, too, just for more support.
Oh, okay. Good.
Sweet, thanks.
Because I have not gotten those together. They're still sitting around somewhere, and I am going to need to change of pace at some point, because one can only do so many...
Wait, which ones are you painting?
Humans, of course. Conquest.
I have cavalry.
I also have cavalry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I haven't assembled them yet.
Me either.
They're like right behind me, waiting.
They're somewhere in this area.
Maybe we work on them together.
Oh, tag team and oh shit, yeah.
I can work on my spires because I have spires that I'm trying to work on. So it is the 100 Kingdoms. So everybody know, they sent us a 2-player battle set, 2-player starter set, which I assembled about a year ago and did some test games with. But they also gave us some models to give to Kathy and John. And I think Kathy has the cavalry and John has the troops.
I want to say I have some cavalry too. I think you split it up more evenly than that.
Yeah, I think you may have like a character cavalry model or something or whatever. Because I think Kathy got. See. Yeah, I don't remember.
I have like three horsey knights.
Yeah, I think that's a standard unit.
Yeah, there's horsey knights in there. I know it's all good. We will see when that comes about, and it'll be a fun time.
Yeah, so we may have to do that because there are a couple of streamers that have some Conquest stuff that will be streaming on air with those models and painting them up.
Oh, awesome! That's really cool.
Yeah, so
we'll get that there. And honestly, with one of my boys, nickname pending Frank, is coming back to the area, and this is sort of like in his wheelhouse, so to speak. So we'll see what we end up with. When one of the crew gets into something, we're all willing to get a little bit into something. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But you should probably start hobbying. Good Lord, we've been chatting for forever, dog.
No kidding. So I'm going to switch over to the paint cam.
What's that?
So I'm going to switch over to the paint cam.
It's funny you say nickname Pending because Pending ended up being the name of my Shadowrun character.
Okay. Well, so
the name was Pending.
because I've never given Frank a nickname. But I mean, I could call him Soup Frank or something like
I
that.
thought
'Cause
he was no nickname Frank.
It could be no nickname Frank, but apparently everyone in the Air Force called him Soup because he loves soup so much. Because apparently that happens when you eat soup everywhere. Like, it's a running gag where he will take a picture of soup and send it to his son because his son's like, "You throw soup everywhere." You're like, yes, he does. When he came and had dinner with me and Not Brush Head Dave, he had soup.
I did get to so I got the cool, you know, hobby holder.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna look into some of those because I have no okay, I have few complaints with the original GW holders, but I don't know if I've shown you the new ones. So I've got both right here. So the new ones are very thinner, the Citadel ones.
Yeah.
And if I let's take Wasp off this. Come on, thank you. And take the whammy off this. So while other models fit, and this is not, GW's not going to give a fuck about this.
No.
But so on this, you get a lot of twist on these hex-based models.
Oh yeah.
Where you don't get, and they might pop off because of that. And the same with the smaller ones in general. But on this, you get very little twist, just a tiny bit.
Well, if you come to Warfare Weekend, you have a chance to win these on door prizes.
What are they? Where did they come from?
They're Redgrass.
Redgrass games.
Hobby holders. They sent us like 20 of these and also 20 of their wet pallets.
The new ones or the old ones?
Oh, wow. Oh, cool.
The big one, the XLs, not the small orange ones, the XLs.
I got space for all that. Holy moly.
I hear all sorts of good things about the Redgrass games.
Yeah, they're really, they've jumped in. And other thing is also, if you guys like subscribe to their newsletter, they send out actually good pertinent stuff in their newsletter occasionally, just hobby stuff once in a while. It's great. They're good company.
But yeah, I think we got like 20 of those, and then they sent brush sets. They're dry brush 2 and 2.0 and 2.
I want a review of those guns though.
Yeah,
I'm looking to buy more brushes from places because I like Army Painter brushes. I will not bitch about Army Painter brushes. They are cheap, but I go through them like they're cheap.
Oh yeah,
like crap through a goose. That's quick for anyone who doesn't understand that reference.
So I'm going to do these. I was thinking about my paint scheme, and I was like, how am I going to paint these? Because I don't want the standard paint scheme, because you know me, I don't ever paint standard most of the time. Mm-hmm. And I think I'm going to paint these up. I'm going to use the contrast black paint, which my camera's like right. There we go. I think I'm going to do a contrast. I think I'm going to do them. I still like the gold and the turquoise look to them. But I think I'm going to do, instead of doing white and light gray, I'm going to do a black fleet type thing. And just wash the entire model with contrast black. And see what it looks like. Because, I mean, I can always paint over, the golds and stuff like that on the models. So I'm not too worried about that. So I'm going to take, like, this right here. Make sure I'm still on stream. Okay, this one is like their standard thing. It's got the Kopesh or something like that. And I'm just going to wash the entire model in black with contrast black.
Okay.
May I suggest, I mean, it's a little late now. I was going to say you could prime them black, go over the areas you want black in a darker gray. And that way, when you put the black on, you'll actually get, I think, closer to what you're looking for in the end.
I thought about that, but I was like, I want to see what this contrast black does on it.
Okay.
And how it makes it look, these ships, because I don't want them to be pure black. I want them to be the contrast black. And I am going to paint the water blue and put the little reflection like things on it. And then I do have that water texture, that dry water texture to make like the foam and the streaming behind it. So I've got that ready too. So I'll be using that also. And probably putting a light film of water over the top of it.
Oh, and Calvin Sanapati, you are correct. Those Cephalix Overlords are not great models.
That War Machine.
Yeah, they were better when they were metal. In Rustic, they're kind of fuck awful. But then again, it's Rustic. It's mostly fuck awful.
And then Moe's Magic said I was going to get the new red grass palette, but then I discovered how to make my paints
Oh.
last for 2 to 3 weeks with a wet palette.
And see,
If your paints are lasting 2 to 3 weeks, you're not painting often enough. Oh,
Kathy.
come on, get going. Start painting more.
Kathy, you may notice that you got Stretch redeemed.
Oh my God. As I live and breathe, could it be L. Marshall in our chat?
And that is why I was made sure he knew, Gonzo knew earlier. When I talk about Marshall, I mean L. Marshall, not Joe.
I know exactly who you mean, even though I've never met him.
Also, one of the things that I did
I'm gonna
get,
stretch.
he gave
Oh,
me
yeah. Oh yeah.
one of their new wet palettes, papers, which is the rehydrating membrane that can be used over like 10 times. You just wash it off and then you get to use it again. So I definitely need to do a review of that and get this wet palette back and set up, because that's what the Kickstarter was the new size and the reusable wet palette.
Yeah, I did not back it only because I have the other one I haven't set up yet because I'm lazy. And honestly, this is going to be a weird thing to say. When you start painting different types of models a lot, such as I was doing with Malifaux and Battletech and Marvel, the wet palette is less important because you're changing colors so often because everything's a different color scheme, potentially. So that's another excuse, though I still should probably use wet palette.
It always feels good when I stretch.
Yes, it does.
Because that's how.
Damn, Al Marshall just subbed. Thank you so much for that sub, Al Marshall.
Thanks, Marshall.
Moses, Kathy, how much upper body strength have you gained since breaking out stretch? I mean, I don't know. I haven't been testing it. I do yoga though, so I have some muscles here. Legionnaires wants to know, so what games are you currently having at Warfare Weekend? We'll wait for Gonzo to answer that question.
Did you prime that, Gonzo? I mean, theoretically, he's here. He's just not responding. Oh, Captain Izzy, good.
Sorry,
good link.
It got hit on
Thank you, Captain Izzy. She has posted a link in the chat to the convention.
40K, every single Privateer Press game, Marvel Crisis Protocol. You know what's so funny, and I don't mean to go off the thing, War Machine Hordes, blah 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 type thing. But the one thing that is sold and almost sold out on all of our pages, on all of our things, is Colossal Wrestling.
I mean, yes.
Yeah.
Is what now?
Colossal Wrestling. It's when you take just a Colossal from War Machine and Hordes and you beat each other up with it. Like pro wrestling, just with Colossals.
It's like the Titan thing at Adepticon. Okay.
Yeah, that is the one, like, when I probably retire a lot of my War Machine and Hordes models and take them to L. Marshall, because he's the one who holds all the models for potential future use. I will probably keep my Retribution of Syra Colossal, because I kind of do want to paint it.
But there is, we have 2 40K events, 2 Marvel Crisis Protocol events, every single, like I said, Privateer Press, tons of demos of games. Nestor is going to be doing a demo of Song of Ice and Fire. We got a guy doing a
demo.
Mo
says Gonzo sounds muffled. It sounds like you're using a different mic.
How about that?
Oh, that's better.
That's much better.
I had it up on the side of my head. Sorry. Nestor is doing a demo of Song of Ice and Fire. We got a guy that's going to be doing a demo of the new Judgment rules.
Cool.
And playing at that. What else? Matt Getz, that is the RPG guy for Privateer Press, is doing 3 games of the new Privateer Press 5th edition rules. of Iron
Cool,
Kingdom.
yeah.
And that's actually, I think, all but one of them are sold out right now. So, and like the two that are sold out are, I do have a waiting list right now, which is kind of interesting.
John O. Spencer, hashtag best John. All your friends are showing up
I
tonight.
know. Hey, Bowie, how's it going? Yeah, well, that's sort of Gonzo. He's weird. He's going to be upside down. But if you got channel points, you could donate to make him not be weird.
I'm upside down.
Spend more time with us. Gain more channel points. Stop
Yeah.
Gonzo being weird.
You can also
Nice
redeem him to
to
make
meet
Catchy
you,
stretch.
Bowie.
Yeah, everyone's coming out of the woodwork. Banyan's not here, but that's fair. It is his and his woman's anniversary, so they are off having fun together.
Aww.
There are no points that won't stop Gonzo. You are correct, Marshall. There are not. Well,
Yeah.
there are. I just have to be extra sneaky about it.
I heard that.
I know.
We all have access to the
Yeah, we can all
now.
just do whatever we want if we need to. It could become the Wild West out in this bitch.
It's true. But I'm going to raise the points. Then I'm going to lower the points. Then I'm going to raise the points. And I'm going to
Yep.
lower the points.
Well, the thing is since Gonzo only streams one day a week, Kathy, we really have the power.
Yeah, that's true.
We can literally have it redeemed 5 times by the time it gets around to him again. And he'd be like, what the hell is going on? Oh. All right, I was worried you hadn't primed those originally, but it's going on pretty well now.
Yeah, I think the primer maybe it's a little bit powdery.
That's no bueno.
Huh. What
On this
primer
one right
did
here.
you use?
It's the standard primer, but it's also we've got a lot of heat
The
and moisture in the air.
standard primer?
Yeah, the bone.
'Cause
primer
I don't
that-
know what the standard
GW
primer is.
Shop Debone or whatever.
Yeah,
Okay.
that you use
Okay.
for the contrast paints. We
I
have
just-
had a lot of weather lately, hot weather, so it's probably a little bit of moisture in it. Probably should let these sit.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this is what I call standard primer. This is what I use for everything. There we go. That's
This
right.
is standard primer for me.
Yeah. All different.
It's the Stynylrez.
Yeah.
And even though it is formulated for an airbrush, I just brush that shit on with a regular brush, and it doesn't matter what the weather's like outside because I'm sitting right here when I do it.
Yep. The Vallejo Surface Primer is formulated to go through an airbrush, even though it is. I just brush that shit on. And it
I
doesn't
have
matter what
done
the
that
weather
with
it's like
the
outside.
Vallejo as well. Yes,
Yeah.
it works well.
Oh, I do have an airbrush I need to set up, but that requires me and Banyan to do some shit around the house, which, good
That's
luck.
exactly the situation with my airbrush. I have an airbrush in a box
Yeah.
that I've never used.
Yep. We're too alike
Yeah,
sometimes,
Bowie's
Kathy.
like standard primer is whatever I feel like putting in my airbrush. See, airbrushes don't care what the weather is outside.
Nope.
You know, as long as you have ventilation.
Yep, and I've got the package I got came with one of those little spray booth things.
Most
was-
Stynylrez is really super good, says Mo, and I agree 100%. I feel like it is the best.
Yeah,
Well,
it's my typical
In my
go-to primer.
opinion, other people's mileage may vary.
That's my standard go-to, but I was using the primer that I use for when I do contrast models.
Well, I'm going to add it to my wish list because I keep forgetting every time. So if I put it on my hobby list on Amazon, I will remember next time I go for primer to look at there, and then we'll see.
But L. Marshall, he has an airbrush and a compressor.
Yeah,
It's
so
just the space in the place.
yeah, I own one. I bought it from Micromark like a couple
Ventilation
years
is
ago.
ruined.
It's just I haven't set it up because we're lazy. We need to get rid of a lot of extra furniture and all. I talked about this Saturday a little bit.
I
So.
feel you, Mo. 32-ounce bottle.
Yeah, I should
Big as
put
my head.
I
Yep.
think the 16 ounces is what they are advertising, but I'll take a look at that for.
But
You
the
stay at
sticker on
12.
this one says 2 ounce, which is totally wrong. But that's what it says on the label, and I noticed it one other time when I was streaming, and I'm like, wait a minute, this says 2 ounce. There is no way that this is 2 ounces.
Wow, Banion's on here. He's getting brutalized. And you guys can just imagine the Banion face for that.
Like this is a 4-ounce bottle, right?
Yeah.
That says 2 ounces on the label.
Mine
There's something
is
wrong here.
200 milliliters, so 6.76 fluid ounces. I also have the first one, which is a lot smaller than that. Which is, I can't read that small. How about small? Small is good. Actually, the funny thing is, when I ordered some more, I accidentally got gloss black, but it still worked pretty well, honestly. If you're going to paint it over the whole thing, the gloss black works plenty fine.
Yeah, gloss black is fine, and gloss black
Yeah.
black works better if you're using color shift paint.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. The gloss helps the color shift. a
Ha!
lot.
The more you know.
G.I. Joe.
No, that's knowing is half the battle. This is the more you know.
Occasionally, I have a flash of wisdom.
No, it's if you're not breathing and tasting the brush, you really are pressing.
That's true. That's true. You really need to inhale. That's what my boss at my screen printing job.
Well, much
God.
like the ex-president, I never inhaled.
Coving Scotty Potty's asking, what is a gloss black? Gloss back? Gas back?
Gloss back. This is us drinking and trying to say vaguely complicated word combinations.
It's not even complicated.
I said vaguely. It's like the bronze back. Yeah, it's a new type of Titan.
Like the bronze back. Yes, yes. It's just shinier.
Shiny. We've gotten vaguely off topic. What was topic?
There was no topic.
Then we're not off topic. Excellent.
No, we're on our standard.
See? Hey, should we just like media too? Like just because we have a lot of things to talk about because Richard Donner was just so prolific.
Yeah, I didn't watch a lot of this stuff. I only had so much time.
But
I'm
we can
finding I
still
need to like
talk
quit
about
my
his
job
movies.
to have times to like
We-
watch movies and all this other shit I need to do every week.
I mean, I saw two, but we can still talk about
Oh, yeah.
all the other ones because I know for a fact that we have all seen a bunch of different ones that he's done.
Oh yeah.
I mean, absolutely.
Are you bringing up his filmography?
Yes. You can't remember them all. That's how many he's done.
Scotty, damn glossbacks ruining
Like
the neighborhood.
seriously.
Glossbacks are important for the environment. They're all part of the web of life.
That's like the circle of life, which is different than the circle of family. If you guys have
It's
seen
also
those memes.
different than the circle of death. Family circle? What?
No. Yeah, Kathy, have you not seen all the Vin Diesel family memes on the internet from Fast and
No.
Furious?
How have I been missing these?
My
You-
God.
where have you been?
There are so many. It is.
No, maybe my friends are intelligent.
Wow. That was suddenly very harsh. I even sent you one. I sent one into the group on my favorite one. I sent it before the podcast. You know, why is the reverse cowgirl position banned in Alabama? Because you never turn your back on family.
Oh my god. No,
Yeah.
you never sent me that.
Yes, it
It's
is.
there. Check your Facebook. It's right there.
How did I miss it? Was I on vacation?
No, it's like
No, I sent it today.
Oh, I was busy today doing other stuff.
Right before we were literally. Never mind. It was after we were chatting because Gonzo wasn't here to start the call.
Oh, I haven't looked at my Facebook since then. What are you doing looking at your Facebook since we started doing stuff?
No, it was before he called though. Never mind. It's okay. Apparently, I just didn't read it because I'm not intelligent. That's okay. There's still very funny memes.
You don't turn
I'm
your
not
back on. Oh my god.
Oh, that is my second favorite picture. It was my favorite picture for a brief second, but media-wise, there's one from the most
Your
recent episode
favorite
of
picture
Loki
of
that is my new
Vin
favorite
Diesel?
picture.
You know
No, no.
what? I would use that picture of Vin Diesel as a skin color reference. That has a lot of lights and shadows and midtones going on in it. That would be fantastic as a color reference.
I send her a meme, and she's going to use it as a color reference. Ladies and gentlemen, Kathy Wobble.
I mean, that's what
I
you do,
say you're
isn't it?
wrong. I'm just saying you're crazy.
Isn't that what everybody does? They see a picture. I look at that picture and I go, wow, this is so Frank Frazetta, the lighting on this.
So I just sent this one, Kathy, too. This is my favorite picture right now. And I know you haven't seen Loki, so you're not necessarily going to get it all, but it's funny.
Oh, that's right. I need to start binging that.
Yes. It's one more.
I think
Next Wednesday,
maybe,
you're safe. Or as
maybe
long as you
this
get to the
week.
point, if you can watch 5 episodes by Wednesday, you'll be set, because then you can watch the 6th on some Wednesday.
Yep.
Okay.
End of the series.
I don't know. Unless I spend all day tomorrow watching Loki, which is not entirely impossible.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't know. It's just an alligator with Loki horns. To me, that's it.
Oh, I also love the other picture with him in it, but you know.
My friend got a puppy. Now that you've made me look at Facebook, my friend got a puppy, and it's a English bulldog puppy,
Mhm.
and it's so freaking cute.
Yeah,
It's like a
they're all
little
cute.
pig.
Well, we had an issue at work of someone has a puppy, and apparently she fosters a lot of puppies and all, and it was misbehaving, and she hit it once, and we were all going to whoop her ass
What?
because we're not. That's not okay.
No, boy,
That's
no.
not okay.
That's so sad.
Quite literally, it was the point of you had best check yourself before you wreck yourself. Anyways, Gonzo, you might as well. I mean, we're just gonna start talking about media regardless because
What time is it?
you're
by the way?
busy. 8:48.
I mean, it's only 12 minutes to media
No.
section.
No problem. I'm going to do something though. I'm going to dust these off a little bit because I can tell that some of the primer got a little bit.
Do you have
dusty.
a GW tank brush?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Boom.
That's
Oh,
why I love
that's
keeping them dry, and then because then they have pretty stiff bristles until you wet them, and then just go. Yeah.
Holy shit, that brush looks rough.
Oh, it's my dry brush.
Considered maybe washing it once in a while?
That is washed.
Oh
It is washed.
shit! Kathy's on fire. Somebody saying Gonzo some burn cream.
I mean, I'm looking at my tank brush over here going, yeah, I like to dust my bottles off if I've had them sitting on the desktop for a while. But then I saw that one.
I also like this one. They're large flat dry brush.
Yep.
And then, I mean, my tank brushes are in slightly better shape than his.
Yeah, I've had this one for God, I don't know how many years.
Yeah, I bought this when they came out, almost like I was working at Games Workshop at the point where they came out, and I bought one the day they were released because it was super
Brushes.
useful.
Yeah, because I also I got this one too, the flat one.
Mm-hmm.
This would be better because I can get in because these models are smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Like, honestly, if you get, so they make plastic brushes like the brass brushes I buy. That would also be very good at that.
This would be.
You don't want to use the brass brush because it will also take the primer off, but
Yeah, it'll take the model off too.
only if you really
Yeah.
force it.
Nah.
You'd have to really try for that.
Yeah.
If you're using a brass brush and it starts taking parts of the model off,
You're brushing too hard.
yeah, throttle back a little bit. You're here. We need you here.
Oh, poor Scotty. You know what you do in
Yeah.
instances like that? You just soak it in some rubbing alcohol. Just put the tip down. Now, I normally don't advise putting the tip down, but in the case of a brush that's got paint dried into it, or like Vallejo texture paste dried into it. Speaking
Yeah,
from
he's-
experience, I have soaked it in a small container
want
of rubbing
ants?
alcohol,
Because that's
like
how you
overnight,
get ants.
and then massage the bristles and
Yeah.
until the stuff
Do
comes
you
out,
want
and
ants?
voila.
Because that's
Oh,
how
hey,
you
El
get
Marshall,
ants.
thank you
Mark-
so much for all those gift subs. That is
Thanks, sir.
amazing.
Sweet. Thank
Do
you.
you want ants? Because that's how you
You
get
got
ants.
got 3 of the old reliables, Moe's and Convict Scotty Potty and Legionnaires. That is awesome.
Do you want ants? Because
those
that's
cool
how
emotes.
you get ants.
Yeah.
Yay.
So yeah, I use separate brushes for the texture paints, Kathy,
Do
just so
you
I don't have to
want
worry about
ants?
that, and then a
Because
good
that's
brush.
how
And I
you
take
get
brushes
ants.
like I have this thing that is mostly dead, and I just use this for whatever bullshit I need.
I use the 50-cent number 8 craft brushes. That's the Wapple brush for my texture paste, and they're shitty brushes, but you know, if I can just soak that in some rubbing alcohol and then massage away the texture paint,
Yeah, if you got some time, you can. I mean, if you got the time, you can make
it
things
doesn't
last
even
longer.
take that much time. Once you just leave it there overnight, you come back, you massage it for a little bit, you rinse it, done.
Yeah,
It is almost new.
there you go. I actually noticed that Army Painter started selling like actual makeup brushes as dry brushes.
Yep.
Nice. And why not? Why not?
They're good for large areas, but I do a lot more fine dry brushing, and they are fucking way too huge for that.
Yes.
like-
Agreed. There are definitely smaller brushes that are better for that.
Yeah. But honestly, I'll pay good money for a small dry brush. That's good. Anyways, I think we were going to talk about media, weren't we? Let's talk about Richard Donner first.
Richard Donner is what we're going to go with because we got plenty of things to talk about.
Yeah, so in addition, I'm going to start on his IMDb, and he started directing in hold on, it's still scrolling, like 1960.
Yeah, I can't believe what
And
an amazing career he's had.
Yeah, and he did, TV until his first feature, which I think, so he had one here in like 68, but he really didn't start becoming a movie director until The Omen, I think it was. Yeah, The Omen in 1976. But he did like so many different series. Like did just Kojak, The Streets of San Francisco, and where else we got here? The Banana Splits Adventure Hour.
Oh
Holy
my
shit.
God. This guy has been everywhere.
Yeah, I mean Wild Wild West.
Jesus, Wild West even.
The
I
Fugitive,
love that show.
Get Smart, 12 O'Clock High, Perry Mason, Gilligan's Island, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., The Twilight Zone. Like, this is his early career. Oh, yeah, we're getting there, Marshall.
Jeez.
Don't you worry about that. This is the Rifleman. This is his early career. This is him just getting in. He's doing all those
All
TV
shows
episodes.
I watch, Get Smart. Yeah.
And then into his movie start, he started with The Omen, which is his first big one was The Omen. Then he did Superman and Superman 2, but of course, obviously a little contentious Superman 2. Inside Moves, which I have not seen. Which is, yeah, I have not seen this movie at all. But
What's Lady Hawk? Oh my
No.
God.
yep, Lady Hawk, as
Oh,
Marshall
yeah.
mentioned. Goonies,
Goonies, which is
not to mention both videos for Cyndi Lauper's "The Goonies Are Good Enough" song from The Goonies. Then, I mean, he gets into his biggest hit, which is Lethal Weapon.
Oh yeah. That
directed-
was one that I wanted to watch today, and instead I ended up watching The Lost Boys, which still.
Yeah. So, I mean, he did all 4 Lethal Weapon movies. He did Scrooged.
Loved it.
He did some Tales from the Crypt. He did Maverick.
Oh my God,
He did-
he did Maverick?
Yeah, he did Maverick. Movie. Then he also did Assassins, Conspiracy Theory, and then a bit later Timeline, and then 16 Blocks, which was the Mos Def and Bruce Willis movie that I have not seen as his most recent. So he's got a hell of a filmography.
Oh yeah.
And I watched, because I wanted to watch at least one from his, and I didn't have a ton of time, I watched The Goonies today.
I watched
Kathy
The
watched
Goonies
The Goonies yesterday. And Gonzo didn't watch any of that because he's Gonzo.
Because I was busy.
Fair. But the
But I could
Goonies.
definitely, we can talk about Goonies because I've seen that so many times. It's, ingrained in the brain.
So the Goonies might be like my seminal. It's one of my seminal, young adult movies for me growing up.
Yep.
I mean, I want to say for me growing up, it was that and like The Breakfast Club.
Yep.
I can't really think of other. I mean, I'm sure there's a couple other ones, but those are the big ones. This is the more kid one because obviously it's not super realistic through most of it, but it's a hoot.
Yes.
And like honestly, I remember the Fratellis being much more threatening presences than they actually were through the movie. Like, this is not a movie you're going to watch and marvel at, fight scenes or anything like that. You're in it to watch the fun, the adventure, and the kookiness.
The
Yeah.
booby
It is very
traps.
kooky.
It is kooky, and I hadn't seen it since I was a teenager, I think.
Yeah, it's been a while for me too. It's on HBO Max for free if anyone's looking to watch it.
For me, it was almost like new because there were so many things that I didn't remember about it, so many details that I didn't remember.
Like how apparently in the 80s, teenage kids who were douchebags went in for attempted murder on the Jesus.
Yeah,
I was like, what the shit?
we're
that's
looking
not
at that. We're looking at that going, this guy could have died.
Yeah. I mean, then again, entitled White Rich Boy, maybe that's a little on point.
Yeah.
You kind of, your voice is kind of
You're
nice and
kinda-
your mouth is screwed up. That's right. It's good. The romance in it isn't taken too far, but it feels like, 16-year-old romance.
Yeah.
The kids feel like that group of friends. They're a little cliche at points, but that's because you don't want to spend a lot of time giving them all the background of the universe. And in fact, honestly, you get sort of the end of the background when you get to the end and their families show up, and you're like, you see everything then. And I like that they didn't bother having to show it at the beginning. They're just like, here's Chunk. He's Chunk. You know what Chunk is from the first introduction.
Yeah, you don't need an origin story for every kid.
No, like all their intros shows you who each of the kids are. I love Sean Astin and Josh Brolin's relationship as brothers through that.
Yeah.
It feels kind of real. It's super fun. There's the only possible issue I have with it is it's got a little bit of pacing problems. Jess is starting to get its feet. It grinds to a halt. And then picks up again, and the end of it is just like nonstop. Because I looked and I'm like, holy shit, we're more than halfway done. How are they going to do all the rest of that shit I remember? Oh, apparently just boom, 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 go. Like when they get to the well, it like grinds to a halt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole thing where who needs a potty break kind of thing, that was
Yes. Yeah, those two, they're like, what's going on here?
unnecessary. And they were just setting it up so that the girl could basically assault the kid in the dark without his consent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, fair. It's the 80s.
Hmm. I know she thought it was the older kid, but still without his consent in the dark.
Hashtag honest mistake.
Just saying. No, I mean, even if it was the other guy,
Oh, I mean, fair.
still.
Yeah, but those two had been giving themselves the eyes the whole time. Holy crap. Like, if you want good acting, those two, whenever they're giving themselves the eyes, you're like, on point. Good job.
Yeah.
But it's just fun. The soundtrack is super fun. Like, the Cyndi Lauper song, sure, it's fine. But, like, the actual score to it is super fun and adventurous. That kind, like, this is where Stranger Things came from more than anything, I feel.
Oh,
And
yeah. I can see that.
Stranger Things is actually a much more serious thing than this. Like,
Oh, absolutely.
leaps and bounds. That's even discounting the fact that somebody's psychic, and that's still way more realistic than this.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
I enjoyed the crap out of it, and I'm glad I watched it.
the kids are. I remember watching it as the teenager and everything, and I was like, "This is just fun as shit. It's
Yes.
stupid fun and all the stupid things, booty traps, you know.
That's what I said.
But we were all like the me and my friends, the nerdy misfits too. So
Yeah.
it was kind of like other
So
kids.
you were Goonies too, huh?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
kind of like us.
Yeah, it's super good. I suggest watching it again for those of you who haven't watched it in a while. I actually only give it 4. Sorry, I give it 1 out of 5 space herpes because it's when it grinds to a halt that time, it does grind to a halt that really takes you out of it for a second.
And it's the well scene. You're right. It's right around the well scene.
And it's a little 80s at points, but still a great time and a top-notch movie.
I would agree with that. I would agree with one space harpy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree too.
I was thinking going 0.5, but I'm like, yeah, let's go. It's as an adult, like an adult is going to give it more space. Like anyone younger it's going to 0. They're going to 0 that because they're not going to know. They're not going to know that.
They'll wonder why there's no cell phones, but they will know.
Yeah.
That movie's over a lot quicker with cell phones.
Oh.
That's how I felt about The Lost Boys. I'm
Oh.
like, there's no cell phones, no internet. It's like Gilligan's Island.
The one thing I hate about living in Santa Clara, all the damn vampires. You're like, Grandpa, you could have made things easier by fucking saying that in the beginning.
Yeah. You could have
let's talk
just
about The Lost
said,
Boys
watch
since we're
out
there."
for the vampires, kids. They're everywhere.
Instead
Instead of just keeping trying to give me taxidermy animals to put by my bedside.
That was actually the other one I wanted to mention. That was another one of my young adult movies is Lost Boys, which I've seen a million times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't seen that since probably I was a teenager too, so that was really fun to revisit.
Yep, good cast. Not fun like Goonies is. A lot more, mild horror, let's call it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, back when vampires were still brutal.
yeah, vampires could still be brutal back then. Now they're either sparkly or animalistic, and
They're all like it's all romance now with vampires.
well, I mean, I thought they were a good mix between the two.
Oh, Marshall, turn you off from eating rice and noodles. Yeah.
Raised for a bit, yes. Maggots. But no, that's a good one. Do you want to talk more about it, Kathy, since you saw it?
I enjoyed it. It was so interesting to see all of them looking so young, and of course Corey Feldman in this one again.
In both movies, actually.
Yeah.
In fact, this movie had both Coreys.
Yes, both Corey Haim and Corey Feldman.
Yep.
Thanks a lot, Anne Rice.
Yeah, she made vampires.
Yeah, definitely.
Which they're redoing Interview with the Vampire, by the way. It's a TV series.
Well, is it on HBO?
Vampire.
Do they just want to show boobies?
I don't know yet.
So it's on HBO?
I saw that and it just popped in my head that it was like, oh yeah, they're redoing Interview with the Vampire.
Interview with the Vampire holds the record for the movie I checked my watch in the most. To say I'm not a fan is putting it lightly. I like the Queen of the Damned a lot better, but Interview with the Vampire was not my favorite movie. But Lost Boys, we were talking about. It's a good little horror type of movie, honestly.
I enjoy
feel like
it.
I feel like it's not so much that people who don't like horror movies are going to be scared off by it, but it is definitely horror elements.
No, they won't. They'll be frustrated.
Well.
They'll be frustrated by the things that you're always frustrated by in horror movies, like when they're running and they fall down.
Oh yeah.
Out of nowhere, they just stumble. Because I don't understand why that's still a thing that people do in movies when somebody's chasing you.
Well, some people can't get away from tropes. Oh, I see. I was looking to see who directed it. It's an early Joe Schumacher movie, which means it's good. Unlike the late Joe Schumacher movies, which are not necessarily good.
Or his late movies.
I mean, the Batman movies. Like,
recent. Yeah. No.
I mean, I'll be honest. So, just as on subject, I like Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. I do not think either one is a good movie. but I enjoy it. I mean, literally, because you feel like he goes from, let's see, oh God, he goes from the Incredible Shrinking Woman, Joel Schumacher, which, if I remember correctly, that's the one with what's her name in it? Lily Tomlin. Yes, Lily Tomlin, Travis Gordon, which was funny. To DC Cab is not a good movie. To St. Elmo's Fire, which is, if you watched it at a time, might be one of your seminal young adult movies. A little more college aged, so it was way too beyond me. I mean, I was 11 when it came out, for fuck's sake. To The Lost Boys, which is super cool. Like, Lost Boys is super awesome. And then Flatliners and Falling Down. Super serious, good movie. And then The Batman, and then he just sort of goes off the chain. But anyways, Lost Boys, super fun, good cast. I enjoyed the crap out of it. It is definitely a iconic early vampire movie.
I feel like that one rates 1 star too.
I would
love
agree.
it. But yeah, 1 star. You know, for the falling down scene alone. But Grandpa makes that film.
Oh God, yeah,
Grandpa is the best
amazing.
part about it. I just love
Bernard
him, like
Hughes.
every part of it.
Yeah, he's one of those character actors. He's one of those cranky old man actors. You're like, I know him. Wow, he's unfortunately passed many years ago, 15 years ago. Not surprising, he was old there.
Yeah, yeah.
He's been in so many movies. You'll recognize him, but yeah, I definitely enjoyed the crap out of that movie. I've exhausted my movies for the week, Gonzo. I mean, and we did.
I have also exhausted mine. I have watched nothing else.
Yeah, sorry.
I watched my friend play Warhammer Total War, and instead of watching movies last night.
That was true. I did watch Loki, and Loki. No spoilers, but after it ends, either the week it ends or the week after, depending on when Kathy catches up. When Kathy catches up, we're gonna spoil the fuck out of this.
Oh yeah.
Loki. Oh my God. I am enjoying the crap out of it. It is really well done. I think it actually is better overall than Falcon Winter Soldier, but I think they're all very different enough that you enjoy them for what they are each.
Yeah, I agree with you, because the Falcon Winter Soldier, I think, is more serious and
way more serious
on that note. And Loki is more about the storytelling of just, what's going on and leading up, where Falcon and Winter Soldier is building the MCU a bit more.
But honestly, the same thing. All those characters in both those movies, both those series, have character development.
Oh yeah.
Loki, Sam, Bucky, even Captain Douche America, U.S. Agent. Yeah, absolutely. There's so much character development for all of them in this. And I'll agree with what L. Marshall says. If you're into stupid horror movie tropes, get some Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
I love Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Yeah, that movie
brilliant.
is just, absolutely
Solid.
brilliant.
Brilliant. That one and Cabin in the Woods is a double feature is awesome.
I've not seen Cabin in the Woods yet, but it is on my list.
So the one thing that I did do that was not a movie is I have PlayStation Plus on my account, and every month they give you, if you have a PS5 player, you get 4 free games. And like this one was like a Call of Duty Black Ops something or other, which I was like, throw it away. Something else, a Virtual Fighter. Okay, cool. And one other thing I don't remember.
Virtual Fighter?
Yeah.
Oh, that was my jam back in the day.
Yeah, it's the newer updated version. And then they had a game on there for the PS5 called Plague Innocence. Plague Innocence, it was released in like 2019 by a small publishing and developing studio. Never even heard of it. And they had upgraded the graphics and everything to PS5 and gave it away for free. And technically it's not free because you're paying a yearly fee for PlayStation Plus. But I've gotten tons of game in there. The game is during 1348 around the Black Plague rats and all this other stuff going on. You are either a like 15, 16-year-old girl or like a 5-year-old boy in this. You don't have hardcore weapons. You don't, you do have like a slingshot and you have a few bombs that you can throw, flaming little pitches and stuff. But you're not going to be like sword swinging around like an assassin or anything. But it was exceptionally creepy. Very good story. The story was there's very few games that keep me engrossed in the story, but I really like the story. It does have a bit of technical issues on controllers. The monsters or you kind of move a little weird at a couple of times, and moving things around is a little weird. But it is definitely worth it. I think it's only like $30 right now, so it's definitely worth it to play. And it is really, really good story and graphics wise. Like I said, it's about the Black Plague and this girl going through what's going on, and the Inquisition. So I can't tell you more than that because it'll ruin the story. But it is definitely worth it. I give it like 1 space herpy because of the technical issues and controller issues. But for the most part, it was a really good story, really good graphics. Combat and stuff wasn't hard. It was interesting and different. Because like I said, you're a girl with a slingshot. An old style sling. So you're not, jumping to rooftop and throwing 50 daggers at people type thing. And it's a stealth game too. So if you get caught, you're dead. You don't have a health bar. You just caught dead. Type thing.
The
So,
Inquisition. What a show.
but I recommend it if you can get it. If you're PlayStation Plus members, go play it. Or if you can get it really cheap, like I said, it's only like $30 right now. So I recommend it. Did y'all have anything else that y'all wanted to talk about?
No,
I may just be binging Loki tomorrow.
Good.
I haven't even watched another episode of Warrior yet. I need to get back on that. Just fell off because of other stuff going on.
I caught up on a couple of shows, and I caught up on The Handmaid's Tale. On Hulu, based off the book. I think this is season 3 or 4, I can't remember. And I was waiting for all the episodes to come out so I could kind of binge it, and all the episodes were out, and I started watching it. And I will say, this is one of the most rage-inducing shows, but one of the best written and enjoyable shows to watch. Because when it's coming rage-inducing, you're like, this fucker's going to get his due. He better get his due pretty soon, or I'm going to fucking... when you do, you're like, fuck you. And you don't care, but I mean, you're looking at these people and you're like, I would love to meet this actor or actress going, your character was a piece of shit and you played them great. I love you. Because they're supposed to. And this season was another rage-inducing season, and it's great. I mean, it is so good. It has a lot of, it is so much emotion going through it. And
I think I can't watch it for that very reason.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Like I read the book by
Yes.
Margaret Atwood. I read the book years ago. I have the book, and I haven't even been able to bring myself to read it again because the book itself it makes me feel that way. And so watching a whole series, I just couldn't. I couldn't put myself through that.
The book is only season 1. So season, because I'd never read the book. I've heard about it, but I never read it and everything. And season 1 is the book. And then so they continue to expand it. And it still goes through the same rage-inducing crap through
Now
the
that
entire
I'm
series.
seeing in the chat, like Scotty's saying my wife had to stop watching the show. Mizzy's saying I had to stop watching after 2 seasons. I'm wondering if after 2 seasons it's only guys watching it because women are just they want to murder somebody.
No, a lot of my teacher friends, they're all into it because they're just like, that motherfucker, he better, and they're just, they get into it because
my
it's
friend
good.
Robin watches it, but
So,
Gonzo's beard needs some googly eyes right now. Oh my god!
Oh, God. Oh.
Yeah, it's my straight out of cookies T-shirt with
Oh, that's
Cookie
so
Monster.
cute. My
Um,
friend. Oh, I have a friend who needs that shirt.
but it is a very much okay. The writing is really good. The characters are good. The actors are great. The story is amazing. Um,
It's not the quality that bothers you; it's the
no,
content.
and the
Yeah,
content
too
is
much.
very very
Yeah.
mature. And I can see people why they can't, because I'm watching this and I'm like, oh, I just want to run up and just punch that motherfucker right in the goddamn face right now. And you're like, but that's what they want you to do. They want you to feel that, which is good
Mhm.
because that means
I
they're
would
doing their
think
job
too
right.
much about it while I wasn't watching it,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and it would really bring me. It's for the same reason I didn't like Sucker Punch.
I have not watched Sucker
Yes.
Punch because the reviews that I had were very odd, and all the good reviews were from younger white males, and all the females did not like it.
So the women in it were pretty. Their costumes were pretty,
And some of the scenes, I've seen the
and
scenes out of
skimpy,
context. They look
but
cool, but
the entire movie and the premise of it and everything was horrifying to me.
yes, and yeah. Like, I've always been a little sensitive to that, but after rooming with Creekins for 2 years, that definitely opened my eyes a bit more. She was not about that kind of thing, and I agree with her. That was her opinion of, what was
I'd
that
rather
movie?
just have a
Jessica
poster
Jones.
of those girls on my wall. If that's what you like, is the eye candy, great. But the entire premise of that whole movie was just horrifying.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, it is meant to be a big trigger in the show, and it's meant to be a big trigger for a reason. Because like you, Kathy, I never like you were saying you read the book. I never read the book, so I went back and was kind of looking at some of the stuff about what the book was about, and what they cut out from the book to the movie to the series, and so on and so forth. And what I learned was the lady that wrote the book didn't take anything from fiction. Everything that happened in the book has happened somewhere within the world, not just United States, but other places within the world. She just brought it into content to this is happening in the United States. This is, what could happen. Because all of this.
Sometimes truth is stranger than fiction.
Yeah. And it's sad. And that's what makes it scarier than anything else is that the things that are happening in the show have actually happened in real life. And you're just like, nah, I'm going to kill a motherfucker. Because this is stuff that's not supposed to. But I mean, it is an eye opener. Like I says, there's nothing wrong with the show. It is a very big trigger warning. It is a very big rage warning. But it is done so well. And when someone gets their cup upcomings, you're like, yeah, motherfucker, you deserve that shit. And the end of this season was definitely.
So what you're saying basically is there's a lot of fucking around, and you got to wait for them to find out.
Yes. Oh, and they find out. And at the end of this season, because it rumored that the next season is going to be its last season, which I can see. But this one was a long time coming. A long time coming. Yeah. Loki has been so good.
Yeah.
There's this last one. I as soon as I got done watching it, I went on and go, what are all the Easter eggs in this episode?
Oh yeah, I actually watched one of the videos, and I'd caught a lot of them, but I caught the Thanos copter.
Yes, I got that one right off the bat. The only thing that I didn't catch, and I haven't seen by do, is what fell from the sky while they were walking. There was a scene where they're walking, all the Lokis are walking, and something falls from the sky in the background, and I couldn't tell what it was. It was too far away.
I don't think it was important because
I don't
none of
think
the
so
video
either.
I watched didn't. Yeah, but there's a lot of good stuff. There's a lot of theories still.
Yep.
But we got a couple of days, and I may actually try and watch this on Wednesday if I'm not actually streaming, just because Twitter loves to spoil this shit.
Yeah, I did find there was it's been a good solid TV series. It's been really good.
I mean, honestly, with, let's say, from the end of WandaVision on, because we all know I'm not a fan of the beginning,
Uh-huh.
if they continue that quality for their shows, they're going to rule the world.
Oh
It's
yeah.
that simple. And
Well-
reviews for Black Widow are solid to good. I'm thinking about actually getting some guys together, and I'll buy it as long as there's more than just me and Banyan to watch it. Because I feel like you're much more value for that.
Yeah.
I feel like I can justify the $30 then.
I was gonna say, El Marshall says the trailer for
Yeah.
What If looked really good and really
Oh
fun.
yeah, yeah.
That
That
looks
piqued my
solid.
interest as well.
Yeah, I'm glad they're making animated so they can keep. We'll keep the cost down. They have to get the actors necessary. They get to get voice actors, and you can have some stuff. Like, I mean, you can have,
Yeah, you don't have to worry about special effects.
T'Challa as the leader of the Guardians of the Galaxy, with unfortunately, the actor still being passed. Chadwick Boseman still passed, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
Which
you can do some of that.
I was really
Go ahead.
worried about that series because I was like, are they going to do it like episodic, and is it just going to be live actors? And then when I heard and saw that it was going to be a cartoon, I was like,
Animated.
okay.
I don't know if it's going to be episodic or small period. I don't know. They can do whatever they want with it. And that's kind of refreshing that they can do whatever they want. They can do an hour episode. They can do 2-hour episodes, 2-hour-long episodes. They can do what they want.
I'm not sure.
I don't know most Magic. They might just get someone else. Captain Carter Reload. Yeah, that looks really cool. I'm very interested to see what they do. They, I don't want to say they're not doing anything wrong, but Disney Plus is doing a lot of things right. And the things they're doing wrong are, I mean, they still have to make the money on their movies, so $30 is what they have to do. Spoiler, they made their money on their movie.
Oh, yeah.
First one. Not the Disney ones. Oh, the Disney ones didn't do so well. But the Marvel one, they're like, oh, yeah. They got it.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to What If. So that was pretty
Puppy!
Hey, Theo, what are you doing in here, buddy?
Puppy!
You want to say hi? Look.
Hi!
I guess I didn't close my door well enough for you to come in.
Puppy!
Yes.
Hey, you got to get out of here for a little bit more. All right. Jump out. Go. Go.
Marshall says Bad Batch is followed to for Star Wars property. I have not, but I watched it because I still have not finished Clone Wars because happy for all of you who think Clone Wars is awesome. Clone Wars, to me, is not awesome. 4 seasons of it during pandemic was really difficult to watch, and I need some time off before I can watch the rest of it.
I've been watching The Bad Batch, and it's just been okay. It's not been, amazing for me, but I mean, I'm not a huge Clone War thing, but it's okay. But it could be.
Yeah, Marshall, I hear that a lot, that season 5 and on is very good, but the first 2 seasons were terrible. The 3rd season was okay. The 4th season, decent. But at that point, I spent a lot of time for not a lot of reward, so I need some time off before I go back. But when Loki gets done, Bane and I are going to go back to watching Discovery Season 3, which we're not all the way through. And then we'll try and get the Lower Decks 2 while we're there. Just so much media. Like, I still haven't seen all the Netflix Marvel series. They're still, on the back burner for me. Just not enough time to watch all the things out there.
Too much stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm still working my way through Space 1999. Don't laugh.
So, yeah, Marshall, Lucifer, I've seen clips on YouTube. Looks great. I'll be honest.
I have loved Lucifer, although season 4, I don't know, it's kind of slowing down for me. And I know that the second part of season 5, if that's what you can call it, or season 5, or however it is that they're doing it, the most recent thing, I haven't even watched yet.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff I'd like to. I mean, I would have loved to have caught up through all of the Arrow and Flash and all that stuff. There's just too much of it to watch. I mean, I love the clips I see. I like the seasons of the Flash I watched much more than the seasons of the Arrow I watched. But there's just too much. There's too much media for me to consume. If you had told 20-year-old or 15-year-old John that there'd be so much superhero, comic booky, and sci-fi media on TV, you would not be able to watch it all, he would have laughed at you and said you're a fool. And Banyan, stop fucking messaging me for fuck's sake.
Yeah, Bania, get
busy.
in the chat and message all of us.
The other thing that I'm watching, which is on Disney Plus, is The Mysterious Benedict Society.
Yeah?
It is based on a children's book series. It's about 4 kids that are chosen because of their special abilities to root out this evil plot that's happening. Um, each episode is about an hour long, and it's actually pretty solid. Kathy, I think you would like it a lot because they're younger, like preteen kids, but they all have like one of them's like got a photographic memory. One's good at puzzles. One's a smart ass. There's just like
Is one of
different
them
things.
a demolitions expert?
Not yet, but one of them
Oh.
does carry a bucket full of stuff, and she climbs around through ducks and all this other thing to get things done.
She climbs through ducks.
Yes, air ducts.
Quack, quack.
Ducks. Ducks.
um,
Ducks.
I think you would like it, Kathy. So when you get your chance to use Disney Plus,
That's
check
so
it out.
funny though, because I had never heard of it before tonight, and just before this started on Facebook, another friend of mine posted about it, and she said, if anybody asked me what this was about, I wouldn't even be able to tell them.
And you really can't because you would do a spoil on it, but there's definitely a solid.
She had no idea where it was going or what it was actually about as she was watching it. So.
There's the message, which is trying to ruin society, and these kids are trying to stop it. It's kind of like a League of Extraordinary Gentlemen in a way with the kids, but it's good solid. I would give it probably like a 1.5, pushing a 2 if you're not really into that type thing. But it's definitely solid. I think you would definitely like it, Kathy. It's right up your wheelhouse.
Hey, Banyan.
Through it 3
Speak
minutes
of
ago.
the devil himself.
Hey,
Leave
I
it extraordinary
warned Jim.
adolescence. Yeah, it's kind of that. There's some adults in it and stuff, but I mean, it's a good solid show. I'm enjoying it. I look forward to all the time. I think there's 4 episodes out right now, so it's pretty good. Do y'all have anything else that y'all watch? Because we only got like 2 minutes left.
I mean, we had already mentioned
No,
about 20
nothing.
minutes ago that we had
Nothing.
exhausted everything we watched.
What else did I watch?
I don't know,
Alone
what
is
else
back
did you
on.
watch?
The
The survival thing.
yeah, the survival show. And this one's interesting because they're around black bears, which they're not allowed to hunt them. They just have they're just scared. They have to scare them away, but they're not allowed to kill the squirrels, which is interesting because they're a protected species. Yeah. You're like, why the fuck would you do this?
No, don't
Uh,
fuck with bears.
Yeah, this is like the most
Hashtag
dangerous
do not
one.
fuck with bears.
So
Never fuck with bears.
No.
yeah,
They're
this one
beautiful.
is pretty interesting. They've already had quite a few people quit and tap out just because of food.
Hashtag bears.
Yeah. Too many people can't get food because you can't lay like snare traps or traps on the ground because you can't kill squirrels. So a lot of people are tapping out just due to the fact that they can't get food at all. But it's been pretty good. I don't think this season is going to last very long because there's got way too many people tapping out. But I really like it. I did watch Jupiter's Legacy on Netflix. I think I gave that like a 2.5.
Give it a minute.
What is Jupiter's Legacy?
Yeah, it did get canceled.
Bowie was disappointed they canceled it, but
Jupiter's Legacy is a TV show based off of what's the guy's name?
It's angsty, real, dark superheroes
Yeah.
bullshit.
angsty, real dark superhero bullshit. Okay, got it.
It was just
Some
okay.
people love it, and some people not. It's not my jam. I don't even try and watch those things because I don't want to just sit there and shit on it.
Like, I would kill squirrels in my front yard. I am so happy that squirrels have built a nest in the tree in my front yard. But if I was out in the middle of the woods trying to survive, that would be a completely different story.
Yeah, well, I guess and where they're at, they are not allowed to kill the squirrels because the squirrels are a protected species in that area.
Okay.
That's the reason why they can't.
Okay.
That's
Then-
called poor choices, but okay. I mean,
Well,
they
that's the
can-
reason why they
mean-
do this. There's a lot of things to stop them,
There
and-
must be other other things out there, right?
Yeah, there are deer and some fish and stuff, but a lot of people are just having
Killing a deer is a lot harder than killing a squirrel. I'm here to
Well,
tell you.
they are allowed to have a normal like bow, no compound, but like a a long bow or a recurve type thing.
I'm
that's,
here to tell you, killing a deer with a bow is harder than killing a squirrel with or without the bow.
Yeah. But it's been interesting to watch these people, so we'll have to wait and see. I don't know. You make out anything else?
No?
Nope. Well, guys.
Well, it's the end of our show, so
Hold on. Mizzy? Well played, Mizzy. Well played.
So, John, he needs an MTD magnet for the gamer fridge.
Okay. Do we have more than dice gag magnets?
Yes, we do.
Well, then we'll need to get one for Marshall.
Okay. Marshall, send John get his address. I'll send him one.
we have a more than
No,
dice
send
magnet
it
for
to
the
me. It's
gamer
fine. I'll take
fridge.
care
How
of it.
come I don't have a more than dice
You
magnet
do
for
have
my
one. I
fridge?
sent one. I sent
I
one to
don't.
you. You both should have one.
I don't have a more than dice. I have like a page John magnet. I don't have a more than dice one. I don't even know where either one is
Yes,
right
you
now.
both. I both sent you one.
I'm looking out. I'm
Totally
looking.
did not.
I never throw things away. Where could this thing be in my studio? I have no idea.
Yeah. I can send some more. We got some more still.
It's not on my refrigerator, I can tell you that.
So, all right, guys. Thanks for watching.
Hey,
We appreciate
thank you so much for joining us, and Bowie and El Marshall and Banyan and hashtag Best John, John O. Spencer's friends. Thank you so much
Thanks a lot,
for
guys.
joining us in the chat. It's been fun.
I mean, honestly, between my my gaming crew and my guys I play Beckware Online with, that was most of the chat room.
Guys, we're going to send y'all to the Pyro Club. They may be
What?
already going on break, but we're going to send you to the Pyro Club. Guys, please take care of yourself. Please watch out for each other. Wear your
Yep.
mask. Get vaccinated. For More Than Dice, I'm Gonzo.
I'm John.
I'm Kathy.
Good night.
Good to be back.
Here comes that raid, people. Hit that
Raid!
raid.
Da-da. I don't know how this music sounds. You can sing along to it, but I don't know what it sounds like.
Here it
I
goes.
don't know what it sounds like either. It's quiet on mine, too.
I'm
And there, go ahead again.